Alright, today we're going to take my 2012 XT250 for a ride. I've got 411 miles on it since new. I bought it in 2014 new. It was a 2-year carryover. Don't ride it much, so let's go see how it rides on the highway. Alright. Third gear. Well, let's see how it does. It says I'm doing 59. It feels like I'm standing still, but we'll trust it. We'll ride it down here a ways and then we'll wind it up a bit and see how it does. This thing is scary lightweight. I'm actually impressed that it's tooling along here at 61 miles an hour and it doesn't feel like it's straining at all. 413 miles on it original now. I never ride this thing on the highway. The front end is really light on this thing. I don't like it. It'll take some getting used to. I watched a couple videos earlier today, and one guy was saying why not to buy an XT250. And he loves his bike, he rides it everywhere, and he's saying the same thing I'm experiencing right now. The front end is super squirrely at highway speeds. I am riding it where there is no traffic on purpose. Let's see how we can wind it up here. 65, that's it. It's 67. That's enough. Not stable enough for my likings at that speed. We'll make this a fairly short trip. There's a reason I don't ride this on the highway. It is pretty zippy. It's, you know, not like a twin or anything. 48. We'll just tool along here at this speed. We are definitely not doing any kind of long touring on this thing. Given how it's performing at just a mild wind, it's pushing me all over. This is a fine bike to ride around in town. In fact, I think I'll probably take a loop down into town and take a couple of my normal city streets and see how it fares down there. But on the highway, this is not fun. If I lived in town, this would be a fun bike to ride. 30 miles an hour is no problem at all. In fact, it feels like it wants to go faster than 30 pretty quickly. But as you can see, I live kind of out of town here, a couple of miles, so it's not a great highway bike. It's fun to ride though. I mean, you sit up high. We'll go through a curvy neighborhood up here, a couple of them, and we'll head home. We'll make sure we're not speeding in here. I think there's a couple cops live back here. It's got a little bit of a drone, but it is a dual sport, so I have driven this thing off-road a little bit. Nothing like no big jumps or anything like that, but it is really fun to do that. I don't ride my other bikes in gravel because they're just not suited for it, but this one in dirt or gravel or grass, it's all about the same. Handles very well. I'm in 5th gear here at 35 miles an hour. No torque. Let's just go up here. Dead end. This thing is really lightweight. Lean into it a little bit like I'm on my 750 or my Harley or something, and it's like, oh, you've turned too quickly, sir. Find another neighborhood with some little bit curvier roads. See, as an in-town bike, this thing is awesome. Oops, blinker's still on. I'm in 4th gear at 34 miles an hour, and that's where it wants to ride. So if you're doing in-town cruising around, going back and forth to the grocery store with a little bitty pile on the back of your bike or a backpack, this is just fine. That's what I've used it for in the past. Before I had a bigger bike or any of the bigger bikes put together enough to ride, I used to scoot up to the grocery store or to the drugstore, pick a couple of things up. I did it all the time. But obviously, that's about a 6-mile round trip at the max. So my 400 miles on this were quite a few back and forths. You definitely don't want to pull out into traffic on this bike. Make sure your margins are wide. dirt is left on this road. It was a mess the other day. It's not too bad now. Stay wide a little bit, just in case there's some crud on the road. I drove through here the other night after it rained, and it was greasy to say the least. Looks like it has been swept a bit since then. Drag strip. Wicked. Not really. Run smooth. Gas might be a little bit old in it. I don't think I filled it up this year, but I always put non-oxygenated in it, and they're stable in it for the winter, so it's... I'm sure I've topped it off or freshened it up when I fired it up this spring, but I was reading up on these. This thing is supposed to get between 71 and 73 or 74 miles per gallon. That's really cool. I mean, if you wanted a bike to do in-town commuting to work, and you could run all summer on the 2.5 gallons in here for whatever that works out to, 150, well, close to 200 miles. Let's go really fast. That is it. 0 to 50 in a while. Alright, I think that's enough for this thing. We'll go for a ride on a bigger bike.